Hi, welcome everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our tonight's Kongsi ideas. Let me share my screen. Sorry, what's wrong? Hang on a second. Okay. Tonight we will talk about the Balik Kampung, reviving the spirits of Gotong Royong. And today we have our speakers by Group Ground Up Initiative May. And then before that, I would like to have an opening words for all of us before I start the session. And you all can sit comfortably on your chair, on the floor, anything up to you, and just listen to the words I will read for you. The well-being of a community working together will be greater when the less the individual claims for himself the proceeds of his work. That is, the more of these proceeds he makes over to his fellow workers, the more his own needs are satisfied, not out of his work, but out of the work done by others. Right. So let me introduce us. We are from Kongsi Co-op. Kongsi Co-op actually is a consumer cooperative. We aspire to co-create a common that is both co-create a community that is both human and environmental centric through revitalizing the spirits and culture of community and sustainability living. And then, so for this, actually, we already have some thing. So we are actually established in 2022, which is during the COVID time. So in March, this is how we got our. And then after that, we get accredited for this as a social enterprise. And then now we actually already a registered HRTC training provider. So for us, we actually from during the MCO time, is we have the awareness of because the times the food system. Hang on a second, because they keep coming in. It's disturbing me. So anyone can help to close the waiting room. Okay. And then because during that times is we have faced because the lockdown that time, right, we face a food system, food security or food safety of the access to the food is a bit of an issue to us. So from there, right, actually some things like fire us to do something. So we are actually with a few of us with the like-minded, and then we are with the pure belief that we can make a change together, and then without knowing how complex the process would be. Again, and we are actually dedicating to exploring and untapped potentials of the inclusive community driven by the acts of co-creating and co-sharing to ensure that our community life, economic life, such as the production, consumptions, or labor finance is deeply involved with the social responsibility. So this is how we come out. And then also, so with this, we actually practicing these 7 sustainable living principles as our guide. So for us, we are doing things that which is earth-friendly, organic and biodynamic food, and products and services friendly to the people and environment. So a green consumption model with minimal wastage of resources. Doing business without exploiting others and nature, support local small-scale farmers and artisans, and also provide diverse and holistic education in human development. At the end of the day, we want to do what we want to create a sustainable community with associative economics. And Kongsi Ideas is one of the platforms for us to connect people around the world to share their stories, ideas, and inspiring things to maybe raising the public awareness of what's happening around, and also exploring what we can do together for this to live more harmoniously with the others and also with the nature. And with honor tonight that we have our guest from Singapore, May. So she will share about this, about our Balik Kampung, reviving the spirits of the Gotong Royong. And so about May is trained as a graphic designer and spent 18 years in the creative industry before she actually choosing to step away in this such a slow, more intentional ways of living. So in 2010, she was introduced to these ground ups initiatives in the short form GUI, where she begins her journeys as a weekend farmer. Through working with the land, actually she comes to like more connect with her inner self and discovering a new perspective on life. And then now, actually, she's one of the management team at GOI, supporting the organization daily operations. She has curated and facilitated numerous hand-on program and workshop, and with all also centered on the environmental and sustainability, community building, and personal inflection. By using farming as a gentle yet powerful lens for the awareness and transformations. She actually is a COO for the GUI, and also actually she called herself a Wonder Woman in GUI because it's like multitask that she cover. So let's welcome May. May, the floor is yours. Stop my.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity to let us have this space. Let me have this space to talk about the GUI story. And I think I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces in the room. Okay, I shall not waste more time. All right. Can everyone can see the slides, right?
Yes.
Great. Yeah. So our group is called Ground Up Initiative. In short, you can call us GUI. And of course, the name GUI translated very beautifully the mission of what we are trying to do. And that is to gather friends and gather loves. Of course, this friendship is not just people to people, but people to set up a space, and especially of Mother Earth. And all this relationship is built on the concept of love, right? So our late founder, this is our late founder, Mr. Tay Lai Hock. And this is a statement that he made. And sustainable future needs to have a 21st century kampong culture where people have an open heart and are open to constant unlearning and relearning. So we talk about this 21st century kampong culture. So what is this culture all about, right? It embodies three fundamental, I would say, principle. And what he is trying to grow is actually an army of leaders that has got this ability to think like a warrior, strategic mind, the ability to deliver a task or a mission like a soldier. All right. So, and most importantly, is to have a farmer's heart, and that is the groundedness and empathy in us. So that forms the foundation of what we are looking at this 21st century kampong culture that also has got 5G values in it, right? The 5Gs, namely, anyone want to guess? Gracious, green, giving, grounded, and grateful. So all these 5G's values and the spirit that we are trying to groom the future leaders is slowly forming how we run programs and how we interact with individuals in our space. GUI started in 2008. So this is our 18th anniversary this year. So the pioneering groups, right, started from the journey from Lim Chu Kang. So this team of people forged their relationship through a few flood relief mission in our nearby countries, and witnessing the disaster that was caused by climate change, they have made a decision that they want to take care of the motherland at the same time taking care of themselves, and that's where they found a small plot of land in Lim Chu Kang, which is something like our countryside in Singapore, starting to grow their own food and lead a very simple lifestyle. Second year, we were very blessed to be invited to a place called Bottle Tree Park, which is so much closer, highly accessible for general public. And when Lighthawk stepped into this place, he actually sees the possibility of how GUI can slowly develop. Because when he's conceptualizing this community, he has no intention to make it into like a eco village or like a hobby club. He has got bigger things that he wants to do. Remember the statement that he says he wants to build this 21st century kampung culture, and you need to have grounded leaders. So leadership has to be grown in a condition. So I'm a very fond believer in this statement to say is that in Chinese it says that 时势造英雄. So at the environment will or the situation will give rise to heroes. And true enough, in GUI histories, the challenges that we are going through did give rise to many, many heroes. All right. So this is one of our site, and we are slowly building it bit by bit. In the second year, from a 100 square meter space, we took down additional a few, become 1,200 square meter. And now we are doing programs indoor, outdoor, daytime, nighttime, building the community, sharing what we are trying to say, what we are trying to ourselves internalize the concept of sustainability, and how do we express love, right? So very blessed in, you can see the timeline, how we move. All right, now is 2014. 2014 is a very critical year because that is the year that we finally have the space to ourselves. Earlier than that, we are actually under the care of Bottle Tree, which is there is another owner to the space. But in 2014, we become the owner of that site, and this is a new change in how GUI function. Because before 2014, we do not have to worry about rental, neither do we have to pay any utilities, and we do not have to worry a lot of things. And that few years give us this pressure time to build our foundation, to practice the philosophy, and to make that change in us. When 2014 comes, that is the time where we have to re-evaluate how do we sustain ourselves financially, because from then onwards, we would have to start paying rental. Okay, and the rental is not a small number, right? It is close to 10,000 Sing dollar. Of course, with this daunting task, nothing stops us. We are so excited with the space now become, I think, 2.6 hectare, right? So from a 1,200 square meter land, we are now sitting on a 26,000 square meter land, right? So it's huge, and we have started to have different things that's initiated from within the community. So GUI is very lovely in the sense that our volunteers are very diverse. They have so much skill set, they have so much passion, thankfully, that it gives rise to so many things progressively over the time. So the very first unit that came, it happens in 2015. So 2015, we have this unit called Touchwood, and it started by two young chaps that has got, they are not properly trained as carpenter, but they have total interest in trying to use their hand to build through wood, and they love wood. So the other reason why they want to start this is to expand GUI's offering so that we have better source or wider source of revenue. So before Touchwood comes, right, GUI's activities is very much related to farm, related to anything that is about farming. But when Touchwood happens, things become exciting, right? And also on the following years, I'm jumping very, very fast because of the time. So 2014, 15, at the same time when we are celebrating over the land, it's also our ability to build our own home. Now, there's many questions that goes into, do we want to build? What is the need to build? Because to build this lovely, lovely headquarters, it is a very costly project to go into. I'm sure all of you in Kongsi will fully understand this, right? This building costs over 2 million. And honestly, when we are just a non-profit and we are just starting to grow our roots, starting to be able to conceptualize and speak about what we are trying to do, right? Our bank is not great, right? So why then do we go into this building? I think our late founder Lai Hock has this discussion with the team, many rounds, and finally we have all decided let's go for it. I think based on two reasons. One is that being an NGO in any other countries, I think not only in Singapore, is very difficult when you are faced with a financial challenge. And many a times, good cause is put to a stop because you couldn't cross over the financial hurdle. What we are trying to prove is that without much money in the bank, right? But we have really big dreams. We are very imaginative. We are very resourceful, and we are very gutsy. And that's where we want to do it. It's also to show to the government that we are very serious in what we are trying to do. That's why we are going to build our home here, and we're going to be staying for as long as we can. So that's why we bite the bullet and go. And now you are seeing this very beautiful headquarters, which has again going into transformation because this land at this moment is no longer available or is not in existence, right? So that is in 2017. And when that comes at the same year, our farm has also attained our organic certification. This is also through a help of a friend, Zensin, which is, I'm sure you guys know Zensin Organic Farm in Malaysia. So the boss is a very close friend of Lai Hock, and that's where he came in and helped us to attain this certification by sharing his knowledge. And the whole objective of us is that in the hope that we can supply vegetables to him so that he can help us to make make some money. But that never happened. Because GUI's farm, right, even though we are certified organic, it has always on the mindset of education. So we use it as an education farm and not a production farm. So our produce, even though to us is like amazing and wonderful of the diversity, but it never meet the supermarket kind of standard because we cannot pass their the cosmetic filtration of having a standard size and look. So we never have a chance to go into the supermarket, and we are okay with it. Yeah. So 2018, sadly, Lai Hock passed, and of course, this is a shake to the entire organization. Looking back right now, I think he has prepared us for everything that is to come, right? So it's also a true test of how this community stands together, walk through this very dark moment, the darkest moment of GUI history, and emerge again as a very new form of presence. And because of his passing, everyone is united to make sure that GUI is being taken care. So 2019, we have our one very first farmers market in our space, and it was such a success, as you can see. The organizing team you can see all of them here. I would say none of them has got experience in organizing a market, but they come together and make it happen, and it was such a success. On the same year, with the space, we wanted to give it a new look, and that's also it gives rise to this unit that we have been trying to build over the years, and that's our earth oven unit, right? We do not know how to build an earth oven, so we call upon people to come and help. We have sponsors from corporates that they are involved in the entire building process, led by these ceramic artists. And to date, we are still waiting for this because of the change of venue right now, which later I'll cover that. Earth Oven has served the community really well. They feed the team well early in the morning by operating a tuck shop. Not only the fresh bakes, but there are a lot of other home cooked meals that really warms us before we start the day on a Saturday morning. Of course, this is the time that everybody put on a mask, 2020, right? Which I think when we are looking at that period, it's a lot of struggle, and it also pushed us out of the comfort zone and think of the impossible. How are we going as a GUI community when we stress so much on human interaction, right? Taking the importance of nature into every aspect of our program. When we are told not to interact, when we are told to stay home, how GUI is going to survive? No one can think about, are we going to make it or not? So it forces us to think of the impossible. So we start to run also online workshops like any other people, but we take it really seriously. When we say we want to teach you how to grow vegetables, we literally send the vegetable box with 10 kg of soil plus the seedings door to door. Whoever that sign up for the programs, we deliver the box, and then we run through the entire process. We walk you through the process, not only on that online session, but we have follow-up session to make sure that everything is okay. You know, we do that, and then we subsequently also expanded to any other online workshops, and then we start to see that yes, there's nothing that's impossible, right? And of course, the entire nation survived COVID. 2022 is also a time that we are mindful in our memories, because when we took over the land in 2014, we know that there's a timeline to the space that we are at, right? And the areas around us is already marked for, or rather they have already announced it for redevelopment of residential unit. And we know that the time has come. And we really, really have to work hard to make sure that how are we going to survive this move? Are we going to move, or are we not going to move? There is a lot of debate going on in the community. So we even question ourselves, is GUI about people, or is GUI about a space? If there is no space, are we still GUI? You know, there are a lot of things that goes through, and I think it's a very important exercise because it helps us to be very clear in, so what are we trying to say, you know, or what are we trying to prove? I think the answer is slowly surfacing. I would not say that we have reached there, but I think it's showing itself in a different way. So this is a very original state of how we envision the new space that is given to us going to be, right? And our current space is not very far from there. At that very same year, when we are preparing for this potential moving out to happen, something new is also happening with our Touchwood unit. They started to have a program in a place nearby called the Nishun East area to start a community building exercise. And this actually bring us to experience. So can we bring GUI out of the kampong setting that we all used to into another site and still be able to demonstrate what is the GUI spirit, right? And true enough, it's a real test. We went into the community. We start with the farming, which is why people usually engage GUI to build a farm. We work with the communities, and then slowly the friendship is bonded. But I wouldn't say it's a true success because our time there is not long enough. So, but the friendship is also forged. Even until now, some of us are still in contact and we are still talking about things, right? So I wouldn't say that is a good testimony to say that yes, we are successfully being able to have little satellite GUI everywhere. We have yet to be, but I think this current move of ours into the new site is to train us for this multiplication of GUI elsewhere, which is going to happen, right? And 2023, something also happened. Again, this very strong or interesting group of communities start to happen. They are the one that is managing all the bicycle repair stuff. So this is LCBC, which is, they call themselves Lorong Chencharu, which is where the old site is, bicycle co-op, right? So they are also a co-op. And they are trying to teach people how to do bicycle maintenance, but they are also trying to differentiate themselves because they don't want people to think that they are the free place to come when you want to repair a bicycle. So what they are trying to do is to impart the knowledge instead of doing the repair for you, right? 2023, we are very close to, we need to move. And by moving the entire, uprooting the entire kampong to a new site, we know that we needed a lot of money. And again, GUI embarked on something that we have never dreamed of, and that is to do a fundraising event. And again, we are also very gutsy to do art auction, knowing nothing about arts, right? I would say that it's a memorable experience for the entire team. We had good fun along the way. If you ask me, have we met our fundraising target? I said we have. It's not huge quantity, but I think what trained us is to look at things in a different way. We don't have to always stay in a very kampong setting to be able to talk about kampong spirit. And we are demonstrating it in any other setting that is possible. So this is our gala dinner. And following that, we also did a concert, right? So this is a concert that was held in GUI, and we are very fortunate to be able to work with the radio station. So it was again something very interesting. Yeah. So for the performing arts or for the arts per se, we have been trying to have musics and performing arts in our space. Even at our current new site, we are trying to also nurture that, hoping that it will take roots, but it's going to take some time. While we are having all these preparations of fundraising, getting ourselves ready for the move, there's also a separate team because with GUI in the old site is operating there for a close 16 to 17 years. You can imagine the kind of plants that we have, the cultivation, the effort of growing all the plants around us, right? It takes years to nurture them. Of course, we are not going to say goodbye and then that's it, you know. So we are trying so much to think of a way to propagate them, move them, getting them ready for the move. And that is again another level of knowledge, right? We are even trying to move trees. We do marketing, we try different ways. Not very successful, but we try. Yeah. So this is a team that is trying to propagate a plant. And of course, how can we forget the soil, right? The soil that we've been working so hard over the years, we are not going to leave it behind and to be buried under some kind of construction debris, right? So even though it's violating the regulation, embracing the GUI spirit, let's just do it. Do it and see how it goes. So we have volunteers just having very simple tools. We start to not excavate, we just have to tear down the planters, take off all the topsoil, bag them, box them, and then we get our crane lorry to bring them to the new site. This is our new site at its very early stage, nothing, right? Nothing. And we start our very first ground blessing by running a plantation. I wouldn't say plantation, but we did some plantings just to start this journey and to start to build this relationship that we are coming. And hopefully we have the blessing of all that is the being that is in the space. Some of the plants that was grown then still survive till today. Many didn't make it, not because of any other reason, but because of the configuration of the land use, right? When all this thing is happening, planting, preparing the plants, taking up the soil, there's one more separate operation that is going on, and that is to make ceramic, I won't say ceramic, sorry, it should be cement tiles. All these cement tiles is meant for our pavement that we are going to use and build in a new site. And all these cement tiles is using glass. We crush the glass to replace sand, and we are building piece by piece. And you can see all these are volunteers, right? And of course, right at the center, we have our friends from our main con that he is really experienced, and he's the one that helped us to speed things up, because by our rate of doing, we are not going to make it for the needs of building. So everything is happened concurrently. This is our new site, the very first piece of ground that is prepared and built. It's really amazing seeing first piece of really a land, or I would say a space that is happening. And for that moment, it's like, yeah, sure already, confirm we are going to be there, you know. So the final stage of the moving out, everyone has to go into packing stage, pack a whole history of 16 years, 17 years of items. Really madness. It's a madness move. Whoever that have moved house, you can imagine moving a village, right? And yeah, this is our first space. This is the gathering space. Gathering space is a space that we call when we are using it to house or rather run events. Of course, we are building it up first so that our barang-barang can be stored while the surrounding is being constructed. The new site is almost equivalent to the old space in terms of floor area, but it's in the shape of a little bit more squarish. So I think in terms of the architectural design, it's very focused, and I think we maximize the space quite a lot. And you can see slowly things are happening. This is the very last Balik Kampung that take place in our old place. Balik Kampung is a flagship program that start from day one, where we get volunteers to come on every Saturday and do things that is needed on the ground. So this very last Balik Kampung is all about moving from old site, connecting the old site to the new site, which is about 400 meters away. It's a very symbolic act. The volunteers, some of them we know, some of them are friends, you know, they just want to witness this very historical moment that we move tiles, we move plants, we move simple furniture just to have this idea, and it's also a closure for some of us. The very last photo that we took as a community before we say goodbye, and yeah, so all the happy faces, looking forward to the new site. Yes. And that is how when we leave, that is how the state of our old kampong was, right? Very painful to some. Yeah. But we have to focus on our energy in building the new site. And this is from a building that is nearby. You can see the greenhouses is taking place. A lot of things is very raw. This is not how it looks like now. And really welcome the Kongsi family to come and visit us one day, all right? We can walk you through. Singapore land is not as rich as Malaysia. We have a lot of clay. And now the regulation in building industry is that we have to raise ground 5 meters and above sea level, because in preparation for the sea level rising. So the land that, of course, you know, when they top it up, is always the lousy soil, right? And typically, so the first concern when a farm team goes in is whether can our plant survive. First of all, not only the ground is bad, the surrounding is really, really hot because there's no trees, there's no grass, there's nothing. And it's really depressing working on this condition. Not only that the environment is harsh. When I say environment harsh, it's also referring that there's no water, there's no toilet, there's absolutely nothing, right? And that's where the team came together and start to grow that conviction. So we have a strong belief when the management or when the team has decided to move from the old site to the new. This is what we are going and we hope to see, and that is to reunite the entire community on a new ground, re-experiencing what the pioneer team has experienced to rebuild GUI from nothing. Only when you go through this process, you will understand when we talk about ownership, what does it really mean? What kind of weight does it really carry, right? It's not just a word, it means a lot, yeah. Our Touchwood is still doing very well at the playground, but they are also preparing for their move. So something in Singapore is very interesting is that no land is permanent, right? Every land, after a certain time, you will still have to move. And that actually breaks a lot of bonds. So that is the part that we are trying to come in and fix. But at the same time, we have to fix ourselves emotionally too, right? The new site is slowly taking place. This is our headquarters. quite similar to the old one, but with much thought process behind, with a lot more innovative materials, recycled materials that is in place. Is really beautiful now. And building continue with the communities. This is where you start to see the first walkway, the board, what we call the deck, that is connecting the side gate all the way to the greenhouse. And we are all using recycled wood as much as we can, slowly taking shape. The planters start to come in, and our precious soil. This is not the soil yet. This is all the wood chips. The wood chips are from our old site. So how Singapore clear the landscape is very, very ingenious and quick. They just chop down the tree, go into that machine, which is the huge machine that grind or the tree trunks into wood chips. It's everything there and then. So this contractor is doing that on our old site, and we manage. I mean, they also are trying to sell away all these wood chips. Of course, why not? It's trees that from our old site. So we readily take them in, and that forms the foundation of all the planters that we have. And you can see that the environment is harsh, but we never, I mean, we still enjoy the entire building process. The community still comes together and share foods every now and then. Finally, May last year, we start our first planting, right? And it's a worry, because we really do not know how the plant is going to react or respond to such a harsh environment. And it's very rewarding. After 3 weeks, you can see that they are really doing really, really fine and so strong and so comforting. Even today, we are also seeing that how well, or it's so much better compared to the old site. And this is a kind of confidence that we feel. The energy from that land is giving us this confidence. So composting is also a very important process, that we dedicate space for composting, because we learned this composting technique from Follow, and it's such powerful that it turns the entire way how the farm is now growing. And we grasp this concept of the responsibility of a farmer is to grow the soil, right, and not so much to grow the vegetables. We have a very loving community of chefs, and they were like dying to come back and cook for us. But we always stop them because there is no proper water system. There's nothing is proper for them to cook. But cooking really changed the entire mood, because when you are able to cook there, you just have this idea of, this is my home, finally, And when we are all eating from that particular meal, it feels that, yeah, we have settled. We are ready. This is our home that we can call, right? And these are all the moments where volunteers are coming in to help. You might be wondering, why are they all wearing helmet? And this is a very creative, or rather, I would say, we are very blessed to have this contractor that understand our needs, that GUI cannot stop functioning, because once we stop, either we lose the touch with the community that we have been building, the volunteers team that we have been building over the years. That's one problem. Second problem is GUI will not be able to go to function or do things that we need to bring in money. So they have been doing things very creatively by cordon off certain area so that GUI's team can still function, and the area that is the contractor that are working, we are not supposed to go in. Should we need to go in, we also must follow their guidelines, and that's to put in a helmet, wear a proper boots and things like that. Yeah. So I think what we are trying to demonstrate is that we were trying to find ways and means in between the lines so that we can still function and live how we want it to be. So you can see from all these pictures, right? People are moving things from left to right, reconfiguring the space. There are a lot of discussion going on, how things should work. And this is where we start to grow our green buffer along the perimeter. Challenging. Until now, we are still trying to grow grass every single day as much as we can. We start to grow our trees. And this is a very nice site where we built our own amphitheater. All the boulders that you see here are all from the old Bottle Tree Parks. And when we are talking about building, it's not contractor that you're seeing. right? All these are volunteers, together with consultant, side by side, working on the land, sweating at the same time. And of course, there are a lot of joy and there are a lot of hope. Whenever that you do things, you always say that, "Oh, it's going to be very beautiful. It's going to be very beautiful." All these are kind of blessing. Without knowing, you are already blessing the land. And yes, there you go. We are learning how to plant trees. All these trees are of different height, of different types, and we're all learning. October, we had our very interesting mega Balik Kampung. Now that we can do it, of course, if you ask me, legally, can we do it? Of course, it's not lah. But we don't want to, say, okay, let's wait until everything get green light, then we do. We do because there's a need to do, then we just do it. Yeah. So this is a mega Balik Kampung that we run. And then the next session that we have, somehow I can't move. Sorry, something wrong. It's our opening in November. So we have our minister, and of course we have our ambassador from the Swiss community to come and bless the land. And we have finally gotten, I wouldn't say we have a TOP at that moment. It's just an opening for us to start running things, right? So this is a team that is running an event after the opening, and that is our very, very first, what we call the Beyond Zero Market. The beautiful team. Beyond Zero Market is something that we want to set to build a new culture within GUI, and that is from now onwards, whatever events that is running in GUI, we try not to, I wouldn't say we try, we say we do not want to have meat, right? There's no meat, no plastic, and no one-time utensil. So it's going to be challenging, but if we are not going to do it, then who else, right? So that's where we are going to make our first step. Yeah. Okay. So this is the very last slides that I'm going to share. GUI has been building the space, building on these four beautiful Chinese character, 忠灵毓秀. I think we all understand how nature can nurture us, but it's also how we interact with nature that changes us. The space is built and the people comes, the people will form the culture. So everything is integrated. And this picture on the right-hand side is a favorite picture of Ping Yu. I think he's in the room. I do not know y'all can see what kind of condition is this tiny little plant that's growing from a unimaginable site, and they are taking roots, right? So that is how GUI has been living or surviving, if you want to use that word, but I would choose to say that we are growing, that kind of space that we are given. And I would still want to say 时势造英雄, the circumstances will give rise to heroes. And yes, I'm very blessed to be working side by side with so many heroes. I've done my sharing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, May.
Pleasure.
Yes. So yeah, many heroes. I think many heroes are here tonight also, right?
All right.
Wonder how they looks like.
I think
And
it don't have to be I'm the one speaking. They can also on their mic and speak, man.
yeah, actually, yeah, feel free to share also, because actually it's just open sessions for the sharing. You have any ideas and any questions, also you can open your mic, or maybe you can in the chat group you can ask around. Actually, I got one question also, because you say that you are moving to the new place, right?
Yeah.
I don't know whether I miss out or what. How about this new place? Do you need to pay the rent
We have to pay even more.
even more?
Even
Oh,
more.
so
2 times
this is
more.
the
Yeah. So that is also the other challenge. I mean, now we are trying to still negotiating with the authorities to bring that one down. But it's not going to be easy lah. But again, we are just going to continue the fight and see what it lands us on.
Mm. Yeah, this is the problem for, I think, not only in Singapore and Malaysia, I will say the worldwide also lah, because of the space that we need to use, because space, no matter if it's the land or what, is our really need. When we have to do something, we really need it, even
Yes.
just for community, and there are still, we can't avoid from the rental.
Yeah. And you know, when we were exploring the move, there are options that comes to us to say, do you want to go Malaysia? Do you want to go Thailand? You know, even until now, people are still asking, Malaysia, I have this piece of land. Does GUI wants to come? I mean, this thing never, honestly, for myself, I don't think it's something that I would want to do, because clearly what we are trying to, rather, I would say, what we are trying to fix is a GUI, is a Singapore problem first. Only when we are able to do it well in Singapore, then we can perhaps start off, you know, somewhere in other countries to do, to bring the model, to bring our practice, or you know, to other space. Hopefully that it can resolve the same problem of how do we cultivate that the love and the bond of individuals all living on that land. Because if without that love, what care can you give, right? It's all about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine that when people moving house, right, normally they are concerned of what they're going to move in their luggage, their furniture, their clothes, their jewelry, and GOI focus in how to move their soil, their
Yes,
plants.
yes. Now you can see, you can understand. And
Yeah, and soil
actually, the
is, yeah,
the heartwarming part comes to me, and it really touches me until this very moment, is when one of our volunteers mentioned something that he says in an interview, that GUI is not just moving the soil. It's not just moving the soil. But no one continued that conversation to ask, so what are you actually moving? I hope I can throw this question to the floor. There are many GUI people now in the room. What
yeah.
we are trying to move.
What you guys building when you are doing this. Yeah, because you involved in, we are just like listening through this Zoom, or maybe sometimes I was through the website. But we are just like outsider looking at it. And for GUI team, you are involving it, doing it. It's actually, what are you moving?
Yeah, what
Yeah,
are you actually moving? Why are we so stubborn? Why must we always have to do things in this way? You know, and early years, we are also having to share. So why are we so hard on ourselves? What are we trying to protect? Or what are we trying to cultivate? Right? So it's all about, we are not trying to fight for a land per se. It's not about that space per se, but what is on that land that is so valuable to this entire community. And what we are trying to protect is actually a concept, a belief that our relationship with the land is so precious that you cannot separate us. We are so madly in love that you cannot separate us. We have to go with the land, you know, or the land must have us. We cannot be moving everywhere. So it's a concept that is not easily not easy to express. It's only for those people who are there every now and then, who have leave their marks, we have sweat, we have teared, we have, I don't want to say bleeded, but you know, really, then you will know the weight that we are trying to carry with us. And we carry with us happily because we know that it's really part of us, right? So when we are moving the soil, it's not just the soil, it's how come there's even soil, right? Who are those people? Over the years, so many people work on it, making sure that there is from clay to rich, dark soil that can.
soil.
There are so much hope that is in that soil. There's so much life that is still working every second. You know, when you give them some water, give them some sunlight, they will start to grow things. And these are the things that how can you just throw them away? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, I can feel that you are trying as much as can, because this is the only way that you, at the moment that you can think of. So any question from the floor? Actually, I was wondering if you guys like move around the old place, how it will be like. I think even though I'm not there, I will feel like, oh, I can't imagine. I want to see.
Yeah. And I like this experience of almost losing the land, and then fight for it, lose it, but willing to start from a new side. This entire roller coaster of going up and down, the only thing that is strengthened is really your conviction that you want to make things work. You want to make sure that GUI do not fall.
Yeah. It's a really like building a spirit in so-called like this, because now modernized, right? Everyone like just stay in their own house, own room, not walking out. But GUI
Yeah.
actually gives the space.
The space give us that spirit.
Huh.
Truly. If it's not because of this entire journey, all these different challenges that happens every like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, I don't think we would be so high when we talk about land.
Yeah.
It will not, our eyes will not spark when we talk so fondly about the space, the tree, the everything that is being built from nothing. And that's why I said the space give us this spirit.
Yeah. I would think that the new space also will give you another spirit, because like every time you say that you are blessing, that you are doing the building out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you know the beautiful part about being a farmer, you see why Lai Hawk said that three foundations, right? Able to think critically, strategically, like a thinker, to be able to fight like a warrior. Most importantly is to be that farmer, because farmer at every moment, every action in the entire farming process, every action is a complete process. If
Yeah.
my process today is to loosen the land, the loosen the land is a complete action on its own. And you give that action 100%. You are not going to do it halfway. When I sow that seed is so that seed is complete. Whether is it going to plant, is it going to like grow into whichever you want it to be, sometimes it's beyond us. And as farmer, our heart, it has to be big, because you know that your task is done and you have done it 100%. It's really the nature's call.
Yeah.
You just have to accept the fact.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you for your sharing. And I think it means that no matter how it happened, I think togetherness to make it happen is very important.
Yes. And the togetherness, yes, you bring out a very important point. Now every of volunteers is coming in at a different time, right? They're doing different tasks. But without spoken, the common wish is there, and that is we cannot fail. GUIs must strive and it will grow bigger. This is an unspoken wish in everything that we do. This is an unspoken wish, really. So the energy is slowly building up. That's why I feel strongly in our new space that it's so vibrant with life. Very, very strong, very strong. Yeah. We can see that the land is so terrible at its original stage. And to date, this is only 1 year. This is only 1 year and you can see this effect. So you imagine in 8 years' time, what is it going to be like, right? And of course, why do I mention 8 years? Is because by then we will have to fight again to stay. You
Yeah,
ask, do I have fear? I don't think I have fear, because like I say, that every process that we are doing is a complete process. So if we lose, it's lose because of circumstances, then we shouldn't have always holding on to that fear and you can't move, right? So you just move with conviction. Every steps is a confirmed, very safe steps that you do your print on the earth. every decision you make is for the best. That's it, it's complete. I cannot ask for more already.
Somehow also reflecting of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we are sister company, you know, or sister organizations.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we already planned, right? So we will go there for the Gotong Royong because GLI have offered theirs to us.
Yeah, doing
if-
exchange program.
yes. If no more, anyone has any question? If no more, we will call this about the end. Before that, I will share some. Actually, how we get to know about GOI. I got some question pop up, right? So,
A little from there.
what's that? Oh,
Yes, headquarters. Yeah, Chloe, headquarters because we are growing the human heart. So not focus on the head because the head is very developed nowadays. Everyone knows everything under the sun. Anything you don't know, just ask Google, right? But knowing in your head, converting into your hand, it cuts through cuts through your heart. You will only make changes, you will only do things when your heart feels strongly that you have to do it. And that's all about sustainability. Making that change is about how invested are you in a issue that you really want to do something about it and make that change. That's why GUI is all about growing that human heart. Mm.
thank you. Yeah, growing the human heart. Yeah, I think this is the gem. I mean, it's the globalized. This thing have like make this become like very thin. So I think we have to. It's time for us to find back this kind of human heart.
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay. So actually, how we get to know about GOI is about this lah. Connecting through their offering. Actually, their offer to do a Gotong Royong at Kongsi house. Actually, it was the angel offer, because it was a while that we need to do a cleaning for our or clearing in our house. So they are actually really working on it. And of course, we have served them with a nice meal because only when they have
Tell
food,
me
then
about
only
it. You guys set a high standard for our chef team that they are traumatized now. But
sometimes now.
they take care
Yeah. But
and
because this is how we can feel as at home, right? After doing all the hard work, and then we sit together, have the
yes,
same meal, and then chit chat together. So
yeah.
with this, actually from them, right? Actually, they're reminding us the spirits of the Gotong Royong. Their spirit actually sharing from Singapore all the way to Malaysia. Actually, in Malaysia now, actually we also need about the Gotong Royong things. Actually, Gotong Royong is an art of working together for the common goods and the spirits of communal, cooperative, and mutual assisting. So Gotong Royong somehow actually is in Malay, but actually we like these words because actually I don't know whether now it's still in our textbook or not. It was in our primary school textbook about Gotong Royong, share about Gotong Royong, which is angkat rumah lah, like this is what lah. So it highlights the importance of unity and where each people contributes in their own way for the well-being of the whole community. This goes beyond the physical labor, actually reflecting a shared sense of responsibility and a belief that we can achieve something together. So actually, Kongsi also in the while also meaning that actually we need more people to do something to make it something happen, which is last year, and not last year, 2024, GK Farm actually facing I mean, I would say that it's a transition period, whereby the farms actually already doing farming organically and for 30 years, and now actually is practice biodynamic. So actually they have also have a principle of farming, meaning that they have to minimize all the plastic waste. Actually, they are minimize the use of the greenhouse as well, because the plastic. And also they protect the ecosystem by saying that actually there is no pests. Actually, they are just insects. So they are not using anything to like want to kill the so-called the insects. Actually, and also now because the landlord actually now is decide to sell the land. So it was actually used as a free land for many years, up for about 10 years. Then after that, actually they start to like, because changing the landlord, so the same goes to the GUI. Once the owner change, because even though they are not moving, but because the landowner has changed, so they start to give the land, the renter. So the renter actually, this is what happening in all country. It will be like every year is increasing until now is like 5,500 from it was zero, no need, free, and then change the landlord, and then come to the second generations. Now the landlord decide to sell. Actually, it's about 6 years ago, right? Actually, they start to renew I mean, they need to have to renew yearly. So actually, it's give the warning sign and also threaten the operation, but without any option, because they like just like GOI, they love the soil, the land so much. So without anything, they will still continue. Without any option, they will just continue to do as long as they are still open for the rent, because they like it so much. This is how it works. But now the landlord has decided to sell. So actually, when the land has gone, does it only related to the farmers only? Actually, how about ourselves? Okay, GK Farm actually is a food produce farm. And then, so what does it mean? Actually, we as a consumers and human, that we need to eat to survive. So this is just want to share about, this is in Malaysia. So in 2024, the Sun actually already report the declining farming land bank trade to food security, meaning that actually our food land, the lands that used for food producing one actually is reducing. So the latest Kadazan Research Institute also report from 2019 revealed that actually agricultural land for the food industry was actually 922,000 hectares in 2010. But actually, when it comes to 2020, it has decreased to 840,000 hectares. So, and also actually for the agricultural land, right, even though it says that actually our Malaysia's main agricultural land actually is for the oil palm and also the rubber, which is about 85%, which is the cash crop one. So in another words, actually eco-foods land actually is dropped 9% in 10 years, meaning that actually the food producing land actually is shrinking a lot in 10 years. And also, in Malaysia, actually, oil palm, rubber occupies the main agricultural land. So we can see here actually 85%. So which left about and also it's about 9.7% of the agricultural land that is actually considered as arable, meaning that actually less than 10% of our land actually is fertile for the food. So even though it says that actually in general we have about 20% of the agricultural land, but mainly they are to produce oil palm and the rubber. But the question is, if you come to our food system, food security, food safety, so can we really get ourselves full when we're hungry? Can we really eat this oil palm or maybe the rubber? Actually, it's the food produce that we need. So actually, it's time for us to make a change. So change for ourselves, for our food system. So we come to this. So where is our food safety and sovereignty? And also, is reliance on imports sustainable in the long run? And also maybe can this kind of process and packed foods on the shelf can support our health? Actually, this is very questionable. So when we do this Fund a Land, we are doing Fund a Land movement actually is from last year until now. So actually, the land is very precious for us, and it's very important to produce food. And farmers has shared just now, farmers is very hard to own the land. Okay, so a lot of time they are actually rent it. So actually, GK Farm is you can say is the first Kickstarter for our movement, because when we talk about the food system, food safety, right, the land actually is the fundamental, because land is a fundamental for all the life. So actually, what are we doing here? Actually, we are doing something, we call it land demodification. Okay, so we want to decommodifying the land, meaning that removing the land from the speculative market so that it can no longer be bought and sold for profit. So this is in the Farmer Land Trust in US. So it's at the end of the day, land is treated as a community asset. So it's not for profit, it's benefit to the society and the community. To do this, we actually need a collective wisdom to really understand what we are doing. So okay, we are lucky to have this group of legal and professional advisor to help us to do this. So we have to go through this about a few lawyers that only come down. Actually, we want to secure our land, especially the food producing land, in the healthy one, like those organic or biodynamic one. So the possible that we can do it is under the community land trust, but okay. So actually we are raising with the time. Actually, we need, our goal actually is 3.65 million, and our deadline is in May this year. So this is a very valid deadline already. Our landlord will like there's sort of like it's a must for us to do it. How do we come up with 3.65 million? So actually, we have calculated before. Actually, if everyone able to contribute 5,000, actually we need 730 people to make it happen. It seems like possible, but in the real thing, when we kickstart it, actually it's not that easy. It's not sure it's about people don't know about it or can't see the real issue or the problem, or because this is a very pioneer things that we want to protect, preserve the organic land, farmland especially. So even though, because we are doing this prevention, doing something that before it happens, is always that harder, right? So this is what we understand, but we still get the support. We honor to have the support, and then we actually receive 1 million this year, 37.4%, but still got many years to go. But I think we believe that we can do it lah, because this also about the soil. And for this, for those who would like to contribute, right, actually can go through our this first QR is about talk about what's happening and what we do it, and then for the second QR is for the to join as a co-owner, as our member, in other words, and contribute. And also the last one is a contribute in the form of purchasing the merchandise. If you're not sure and you have other ways to do, actually you can contact Kelly, me, okay, either of us. And also, if you have never been to the GK farm, you have to go there. This is their contact number. Actually, they're served. Other than that, they will bring you to the farm visit with the barefooted, and then also with this very nice luncheon buffet. And also we would like to invite you this Saturday. We have this Kongsi Makan hosted by Davina Go, who is the co-owner, one of our co-owner, and also the president of Vegan Society Malaysia. And also we have another one. This is the more for the farming experiential day, a day at GK. So on 15th of March, and in April, the date have changed to 19th. So you can register and come to meet us and come to feel the living soil, which is very different, because this the left side is normally the construction soil it will become, and then there's all like dead thing, and then it takes many years to cultivate to the right side. This one with the soil, the dark soil with a lot of like microbe inside, and we call it that's a living soil. Okay. Before that, I want to show, and also we have this fundraising activities, art for the land, same as GUI. Actually, we don't have a background of art. We are actually very good at another kind of art, which is eating. But this art is to talk about the drawing and the painting. So in April, so it's very thankful Aston, who is I can say is a famous artist. So he will bring all his not all some of his his drawing from Taiwan to like to has a fundraising in April at Oriental Art and Cultural Center. Okay, so if you get time, you can come over and have a look. And before that, I would like to share you guys this video.
就不是单一的一个家族或一个人拥有，
Can hear the sound?
是更多的人把它拥有。单一的一个家族或一个人拥有，是更多的人把它拥有下来。我们在这里很多时候呢，我们也曾经我们叫 offer， 或者是说，是不是有可能他个人或者是谁某某人有能力的把它买下来，因为我们想继续的经营下去这样子但是我们后来发现到，因为很多人还是因为他们在强调的是 ROI， 就是回酬所以很多人在这方面的时候呢，可能他们就无法去落实下来，就是说我怎样去把它买下来这个地，然后让你们经营这样子，因为不然的话，它就会变成像我现在的情况，它就要求很高的租金、很高的回酬，类似这样的东西这些都是我们有机农夫是无法承担的，这个是因为太高了成本这样子。我是觉得，假如是大众的话，以大众的力量，每个人一点点，我们讲累积成山嘛这片地在大家的名义下去组织起来，做买卖就是保持生产粮食。将未来假如这些粮食能够提供回馈给他们，我们不要说长远到100年的是吧？就算是10年、20年、30年，我也觉得应该是合理的合算的。刚才我也有说到嘛，因为这个土地的潜能太大了，因为这边有10个1个很大嘛。未来假如这里又可以增加更多的那些服务学校什么，这些孩子一样在这边可以享受到对不对？或者是生病的人，他们需要一个更干净、更好的空气的地方，我们这里能够提供这个服务给他所以假如是大众的力量呢，我们就已经达到目的了，就可以把这片地拿下来。5000块可能是很多但是有一些人，他们每一年都出去旅行一次的，会选择少出1年 ，OK， 然后他得到的是每周都有新鲜的有机蔬菜在他的餐盘上，又或者是一些没有所谓金钱上没有什么能力的，那么他也可以通过捐款少的因为刚才有讲过这个积少成多每个人都加一点，他就可以做下来了。讲回 GK， 我们是不是就要让他这样子流失，或者是继续把它留下来给更多的人，就不是单一的一个家族或一个人拥有，是更多的人把它拥有下来。因为只有很多人拥有下来以后，有一群人管理这样的农场呢，未来它出发点就不会单纯只是在商业方面，它就会是往好的各对各环境、社会人类生物全部都好的方向去走，这样也创造出一个好的人在社会这个社会才会安定这个才是基础。刚才我所提出的愿景全部才可以实现，这个就是它的价值。最后还是希望大家慷慨支持这一个项目。
Okay, just now the person who's sharing one is Mr. Liu, is one of the person in charge in GK Farm, and then he's one of the pioneer in the organic in Malaysia as well So once again, if you want to know more about Find the Land, you can contact us, Kelly or I, or maybe you can join our community group. And last, before we end, I would like to share this one, which I learned from one of my teacher, Dr. Joanne's. So it's about 改变世界不是一个人做很多，而是每一个人做了一点点。Changing the world isn't about one person doing a lot, but about everyone doing a little bit. Okay, thank you everyone, and we can come to our end.